A few weeks ago, I turned 27, and I realized that I am now suddenly in my late 20s, which feels incorrect. Because when I think about people who are 27, they're like confident and they know how to match their makeup so that it doesn't oxidize during the day and turn into a different color, and they know how to dress, and they know their colors, and they know what they're doing in their career, and they take really good care of themselves, and they make decisions without consulting other people. And I don't know that we're there yet, folks. So I've done a lot of thinking about where I should be at 27, and I've come to the sobering conclusion that I have wasted enough of my life scrolling on social media, on my laptop, as I'm sure we all have, and I need to get that under control and to actually use my creativity in ways that feel fulfilling to me. Given all of the discussions on social media about like dopamine detoxes and social media breaks and nervous system regulation, I am guessing that I'm not the only person feeling this way. I feel like a lot of us are hitting a wall where we're getting really sick of our feeds being filled with ads. So we're all getting sick of being sold to. And some days I feel like I don't even have thoughts anymore because it's like my brain is so tired from constantly consuming stuff on the internet, and a lot of it not actually provoking a whole ton of thought. And as a creative person that used to experience awe and beauty and inspiration pretty regularly, this realization is pretty jarring. And it's also pretty sad. And since moving to Seattle about a year and some change ago, I've had a couple of thoughts. One, that my younger self would be obsessed with the fact that I moved here. But two, since I moved to Seattle, I noticed how much different I felt living here. And I've thought a lot about the Mary Oliver quote that says, "We need beauty because it makes us ache to be worthy of it." And I feel like whenever I step outside and I see the mountains or hear the birds or watch the sunset from my roof, and I experience awe in those moments, it makes me want to take better care of myself and to be a better friend and to focus on the things in life that like actually truly matter at the end of the day. And the more that I learn about awe, the more that I think it's something that adult life kind of drains out of your everyday experience, because awe does make you step back and ask questions and assess whether or not what you're doing day to day is furthering like your life goals and is going to matter at the end of your life. But anyways, that Mary Oliver quote has felt increasingly true as I've been here, and I've gradually felt more motivated to do what I need to do to create the life that I want for myself. And the life that I want for myself does not include scrolling for 9 hours a day. So we've got to do something about it. So I'm starting something I'm calling the Consume Less, Create More Challenge, where my goal is to spend more time every day in creative process than I do scrolling on social media or just on my phone in general. Because your attention is everything. Your attention is like in the driver's seat of your experience of life. And we've just been giving that away for free in this economy. So this challenge is my attempt to take back a little bit of agency and to take back my ability to express myself creatively as well. So to get started, I did the worst part first, and I looked at my current screen time and I vomited. I made note of my daily average screen time, which apps were the most problematic for me, and then what times of day I was most likely to slip into my old habits as well. And for me, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube were my worst apps, and then early in the morning and then late at night scrolling till 3 a.m. were my most problematic habits. But now that I have that information, I can make a plan to focus on how I'm going to combat my old habits and replace those with new ones. In terms of tools, I'll be using the app Opal both on my phone and on my Google Chrome browser. There's an extension, but you can use that app to block off certain apps or websites at certain times of day and to literally make it impossible for you to use those apps during the day. Next, I outlined what counted as creative time, supportive time, and then screen time. And at the end of the supportive, I'm going to call it a menu, but at the end of the supportive menu, I have a list of habits that I pulled from Andrew Huberman's podcast about how to increase your baseline levels of dopamine. Because as we all know, social media was designed to give us hits of dopamine, which is why it has become such a bad habit for so many of us. And it's so hard for us to kick the habit as well. So the goal of including some of these habits in my supportive tasks is to hopefully replenish some of the dopamine that I'm going to be losing by not using my phone as much. And I think it's important to double down on the fact that this isn't our fault. It's not our fault that we've developed really insane screen time habits. That's literally what big tech companies want, because they make more money the longer that we're using their websites or apps or whatever. So if you're relating to any of the thoughts that I've shared in this video, don't beat yourself up or think less of yourself for having these habits, but know that this isn't going to get any better without really intentional effort, because it does benefit advertisers and those larger tech companies for your life to feel worse and for you to be comparing yourself to other people on Instagram for hours and hours so that you think there's something wrong with you. So then you're more likely to buy products that they can frame as the solution to your problem when there's nothing wrong with you in the first place. So it's not going to be easy, but it is going to be worth it. I also wrote out a little manifesto to keep me focused on why I'm doing this challenge, and I'll read that for you now. You've had enough. Enough mindless consumption, enough living for the weekend and then spending your free time glued to a screen, enough feeling like your own life is slipping through your fingers. You know this doesn't make you feel good. You know you feel stuck and you felt stuck for a while, and telling anyone that you're a writer or a creative person in any capacity is starting to feel like a lie. You know how much better life feels when you notice, when you make a habit out of paying attention to the world around you, finding moments of calm in every day. You know that when you look for beauty, you find it. You know that you need to move your body first thing in the morning to avoid living in your head. It's time to build self-trust. It's time to implement all the insight and knowledge you've gathered over the last few years. It's time to participate in your life again. It's time to create. I also built out a Notion page to keep track of all of this, and you can duplicate that for free in the description to your own Notion account so that you can also use the same tools and come along with me on this journey. And I'll share updates as I go along and as I gather insights about like what works and what doesn't. And to celebrate finishing creative projects again, because it's been a very long time since I have, and it'll be very exciting to actually have some finished writing and videos and stuff to play with. It's been a while since I felt like I was in the flow of things creatively, so I'm really excited to recover some of those younger parts of myself that actually had quite a bit more figured out than I think I currently do. I would love to hear from you about where you have wasted the most time this year and how you want to turn around those habits this week. And that's all for today. I'll see you next week.